So proud to have with us in studio Ms. Rlene Santos Steffy. She has been behind so many projects, including Guam's first Chamorro English Bible and documentaries such as historic sites in Maritzo and Umatic. And now Steffy is here to tell us about her latest project, Historic Context Hotnun Ladrizu, which will soon be released to the public. And I hope I said that right.
Oh, you said it absolutely fine.
Well, you know, for people who don't know, what exactly is Hotnun Ladrizu?
Hotnun Ladrizu means brick oven.
Brick oven. Now, how did this project get started, and I guess the motivation behind it?
Well, how did it get started? I was asked in 2004 to interview Manamku for the Meningan project.
Right.
And at the time, it was only supposed to be audio. But we quickly realized that it needed to go into video to be able to do any sort of perspective, collective or otherwise, about the history of our people. And as you know, one thing always dovetails into something else, and before I knew it, I'm producing video documentaries. Wow.
And speaking of producing video documentaries, you've actually done quite a few, and you've brought some of them with us. And let's just take us through some of the projects that you have here.
Okay, the National Park Service in 2004 asked me to produce what I had already produced to take to Japan for the Oral History Association there at a conference I was invited to speak at. And what I did was I took a PowerPoint presentation and made it look like it was video. And when the National Park Service saw it, the director said, "How do you get that into the schools?" And I said, "Pay for it." So that immediately started me on this whole process of video documentaries. And the first one is called the Oral History Overview of Guam and Micronesia. And the basis of all these documentaries hinge on oral history collection.
This one right here.
Yeah, the very first one. And so that is about oral history collection and what it does for the people, how the people react, and the information we get from it. It's a primary source. So the very first people that I interviewed were World War II survivors. And that immediately took me into Hagåtña Historic District, because in Hagåtña Historic District, those were the surviving homes in the village of Hagåtña, which you know was bombed after Sumai. And then after, this documentary focuses on all the historic sites, and we were amazed at the volume of, the number of historic sites that are in Hagåtña. You would think that just the more popular ones, but there is much more in Hagåtña. And I'm glad that the Historic Resource Division at the Parks and Recreation has put together that walk tour. Yeah, you really should go through that, Sabrina, because it is just phenomenal. It doesn't only take you back, it really helps you to appreciate exactly what was in Hagåtña at the time. And so this concentrates on the historic homes that were in Hagåtña, and then the history behind some of those homes and some of the people. It includes, it's the first one that included archaeology, and every single one of them after that has.
Now, going back to the Hotnun Ladrizu, now explain this, because you have all these pictures on the DVD, and it pinpoints different areas on Guam.
Okay, I'm going to pull this poster out, which I'm going to give you.
Oh.
You're the first to receive this. This is a poster of the same thing that's showing on the cover. And what it was is Darlene Moore, who's an archaeologist, asked me to help her with the oral history collection of all the survey of the Hotnun Ladrizu, or the brick ovens, or the Hotnun Sanhidung, as is more commonly referred to. So the survey already, the Historic Resource Division knew of 7. And the survey we collected, we added 13 more. And most of that is just by, calling people and asking them and going to the mayors and everybody knows where there are Hotnuns. And some of the Hotnuns only have the base, but we were amazed at how many of them were really still intact. And that very little work can be done or need to be done in many of these to be able to bring it back. And so we hope that this whole survey and this production will give people some interest in bringing this back and just putting it back and using it. It's not a barbecue grill, but you can bake bread in it. You can bake pig in it. You can roast rather. You can do all sorts of things. And the DVD talks about that.
And these are the people that you interviewed
Yes.
that have the ladrizus at their homes?
No,
or?
not all of them. The people that are interviewed, either their father or their mother owned one or had one built, or actually was a builder. And these are either the children of these individuals, or in some cases, the niece, or just a historic archaeologist or someone that worked at Parks and Recreation. So, for example, Juan Castro, he's from the Inapsan, and everyone knows the Inapsan Hotnu. That is a very common, popular Hotnu up in Anderson. And so his grandfather, or great-grandfather, I think is the one that built it. And then, of course, you have the Chrysostomos, whose father built the Hotnu down at Gifpaku. And Ed is...
LA Tire and Lube Warehouse has the most